Welcome back. The Federal Ministry of Health has promised to improve primary health care facilities across the country. This decision, according to officials at the Ministry of Health, is to reduce child mortality and guarantee universal access to medical care for all Nigerians. At an inaugural Global Midwifery Conference in Abuja, local and international health officials emphasized the importance of continuous training for medical practitioners. Our correspondent, Gloria Umezuke, reports.
State governments have for long tried to contain the burden of maternal and child mortality in communities. The sudden death of a mother or a child owing to the absence of a midwife or sheer ignorance by the people has brought huge concerns to the government, local and international experts.
As we look to rapidly scaling up the functionality of at least one primary health care facility per ward in Nigeria, the services of midwives across the entire country will be required to strengthen healthcare delivery at the front lines. In spite of this, however, many challenges remain, and there is still a lot of work to be done to ensure that we reduce the national burden of disease and guarantee universal access to healthcare for all our citizens.
The wife to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Gimbiya Dogara, said the First Lady has vowed to partner with midwives, encouraging them to enforce a change in the profession.
You have a seed in the inside of you that can bring that change to happen. The situation, the economy, whatever, all you need to do is to believe in yourself. Have the passion.
Other stakeholders were quick to align with the professionals who they maintain are the key to reducing maternal and child mortality in the country.
Invest in quality education and regulation of midwives. Employ and deploy midwives to make them available. Recruit from the hard-to-reach areas. Make sure that they're available, accessible, acceptable, and then you will have quality midwifery services.
In spite of the many gains of the midwifery profession, it still faces many challenges that many believe can be surmounted with the right political will by the government. Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
It's time for sports news. Here's Charles Aruka.
Thanks, Amarachi. Welcome to Sports News. We begin with table tennis, and Nigeria has secured a place among the 16 men's teams that will compete in the table tennis event of the Rio 2016 Olympic Games in Brazil. Now, this development was confirmed based on the May ranking released by the World Table Tennis ruling body, the International Table Tennis Federation, ITTF, today. Nigeria's men were ranked higher than Egypt to pick Africa's sole slot for the event. According to the rankings, Nigeria dropped to 27th spot in the world, but were ahead of Egypt, who were ranked 32nd. In football, the Super Eagles of Nigeria remain unchanged in the latest FIFA rankings for the month of May. The Super Eagles retain the 14th position in Africa and 67th in the world. Algeria remain Africa's best-playing nation on the 33rd spot. The continent's top 10 teams remain unchanged, with Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Senegal, Egypt, Cape Verde Islands, Tunisia, Congo DR, Guinea and Republic of Congo. With no Grade A international matches played in April, the world's top 10 teams were also unchanged. In club soccer, Liverpool have qualified for the final of the Europa League after a convincing 3-0 win over Villarreal to progress 3-1 on aggregate. Goals from Daniel Sturridge, Adam Lallana and an own goal from Bruno Soriano secured the win for the Reds. In the second semi-final, Sevilla beat Shakhtar Donetsk 3-1 to set up a final against Liverpool. After a 2-2 first-leg draw in Ukraine, the Spaniards took control of the second leg as the Estadio Sanchez Pizjuan to secure a 5-3 aggregate win and remain on course to win a record third consecutive title. And now to tennis. World number 1 Novak Djokovic racked up his 30th win of a dominant season with a 6-2, 6-1 distraction of Spain's Roberto Bautista Agut to reach the Madrid Masters quarterfinals. Djokovic is playing in Madrid for the first time in 3 years, but didn't take long to adjust to the different conditions in the altitude of the Spanish capital. The Serb will continue his quest for a 5th title of the season against Milos Raonic or Joe Wilfried Tsonga. And world number 2, Andy Murray is through to the quarter-finals of the Madrid Open after sending Gilles Simon packing with a straight sets win. The defending champion edged a step closer to retaining his clay court title after a 6-4, 6-2 victory in the Spanish capital. The result furthered Murray's head-to-head results against Simon to 14 victories and 2 defeats. Pretty dramatic finish there, and this game, set and match. On sports news, and back to Amarachi with the rest of the news at 10.
There's been another amazing rescue in Kenya, where a woman has been pulled out alive from the ruins of a residential building in Nairobi 6 days after it collapsed due to heavy rains. Timitokwe Fagbemi has more on this and other foreign stories.
Reports say extracting the survivor from the rubble was a delicate process that took hours of patient work. She was able to speak to the rescue team, and medics put her on an intravenous drip as they worked to free her. 36 people have been confirmed dead following the collapse of the 6-story building last Friday, and more than 80 people are still missing. In Uganda, the government has banned live media coverage of opposition protest against the re-election of President Yoweri Museveni. The Opposition Forum for Democratic Change has called for a defiance campaign against the 71-year-old leader extending his 30-year rule. Security forces have sealed off the home of its leader, Kizza Besigye, who described February's vote as a sham. Finally, Turkey's Prime Minister Ahmet Davutoglu has announced that he will resign at an extraordinary Congress of his ruling AK party later this month. Mr. Davutoglu is believed to have fallen from favor, having disapproved of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's plans to move Turkey to a presidential system of government. And that's the foreign news wrap-up. It's back to you, Amarachi.
Thanks a lot, Tokwe. And the main news again. The Nigerian Army today began a court-martial of 2 major generals for alleged violation of the service's disciplinary code. The court-martial, presided over by Air Vice Marshal James Gum, is part of the Army's intensified moves to enforce discipline amongst officers. Also today, the Finance Minister, Kemi Adeosun, disclosed the federal government's current priority, which is to ensure fiscal discipline in managing the nation's economy. She was among 4 ministers visiting Lagos on the government's change agenda. And Turkey's Prime Minister Ahmet Davutoglu today announced he will resign at an extraordinary Congress of his ruling AK party later this month. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani. Good night.